I'm happy to see you because really, when I was invited and I looked at the profile of the other speakers, I felt very odd. I said, why am I here? It seemed that I'm odd among the group. And you might think that I have bad news when they start mentioning HIV and things. But really, I'm here to bring you good news. So please, bear with me. Let's say that I am not a clinical microbiologist. What is catchy? Health influencer or health advocate, so that you would think that you can be with me. Because I'm here to talk to you about what I do best. And what I do is that I work with people to stop cervical cancer before it ever develops. So did you know that you could stop a cancer before it develops? Yes, you can. Actually, cervical cancer is almost 100% preventable. And so we are here to say that together we can stop cervical cancer. So that is what you are going to do with me. The men, they are looking like this has nothing to do with me. I don't have a service. You don't. But let me tell you why this is also something you have to listen to. In the first place, you are here and alive because for 9 months, a cervix, that is the mouth of the womb, closed tightly, held you in, you developed in your mother's womb, and when you were all ready, that cervix opened gently, and you came into the world. So the men, please say thank you, cervix, because that is why you are here. But that is not the only reason why you are part of this conversation. Because aside from that, you will hear many reasons why the men should be with us working together to stop cervical cancer before it develops. Let me tell you about Mrs. Mensah. So Mrs. Mensah came to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital on a routine clinic visit. She came, a nurse gave a talk, one of the nurses who are here, and ended by talking about free screening for women between 25 and 65 years. Should Mrs. Mensah screen? She thought about it and then decided to. The nurse explained that this is a simple thing. You provide a sample, we'll do some lab, we'll check for the virus that causes cervical cancer. When the results are in, we will call you back. So she did. Simple process, provided a sample. A week later, the call came. Mrs. Mensah came to the hospital, and the first news was that, yes, she has HPV, the virus that causes cervical cancer, at her cervix. Should she panic? Before she could even process, the midwife continued. All we need to do now is to actually look at your cervix and see. If there are any changes towards cancer development, we will deal with it. And you can have one less worry in your life. Really? Well, a few minutes again later, the midwife said, I have seen changes towards cervical cancer on your cervix. But don't worry, with your consent, I can clear this in a few minutes and cure you. Really? That easy? Yes. And truly, a few minutes later, the nurse said, treatment complete, please come, let's talk. Mrs. Mensah gets down, asks many questions. Here are the facts. 1, yes, she did have HPV. 2, she had changes on her cervix towards cancer development. And 3, in a few minutes, she was actually cured. She had stopped cervical cancer before it could start. And therefore, she could have one less worry in her life. So, together, we can work to make sure that we eliminate cervical cancer and have one less worry in our lives. So, what is the lesson again from Mrs. Mensah's story? Let's break it down a little. The first point, we got to know what causes cervical cancer, okay? It's the virus I work with. HPV, a very sneaky virus, I tell you. And you may be wondering, is it common at all? Well, here are the facts. HPV is the commonest virus you could catch sexually transmitted. Condoms do not fully protect you from catching it because this sneaky virus can be transmitted through direct skin-to-skin rubbing, and therefore anyone could get it. How common is common? The fact is that 4 out of 5 adults, 4 out of 5, are you looking at your neighbor? Well, will get HPV at a point in their life. And is it the men? Let's focus on you again. The next slide as it shows, when you pick among men, 1 in 3 men. 1 in 3. Okay? Should we start counting now? Without even a very good math background, I can tell that there will be a number of infections here, which is not surprising. That takes us to the point that, yes, we need to do something together to eliminate this virus and its cancers, especially cervical cancer, and have one less worry in our life. Lesson 2 from Mrs. Mensah's story: cervical cancer could be screened for easily, as happened in her case. And if you found changes, it could be cured easily, unless you allow it to develop into advanced cervical cancer. And that is what we do not want, because advanced cervical cancer is not curable. But cervical pre-cancer lesions can easily be treated. Is cervical cancer common at all? Again, let's take a little fact. In fact, the deaths from cervical cancer, we are told every 2 minutes a woman dies. Every 2 minutes. So look at your clock. How many minutes have I been speaking? In those minutes, mourn the mother, grandmother, daughter, sister who has died. And do you think that is far from you? It is not. Because 9 out of 10 of those deaths occur around you in lower and middle income countries. In Ghana, cervical cancer is the 2nd commonest cancer among women and the 2nd commonest to kill women as far as cancer-related death is concerned. This should be absolutely not acceptable to you. Absolutely not. For a cancer that is largely preventable. So, how do we come together and make sure we eliminate cervical cancer for one less worry? Please, if you are motivated, say it with me. One less worry. One less worry. Yes, there are many things to worry about in this world. But doing what we do best, we can eliminate cervical cancer and have one less worry. And that takes us to the 3rd and final lesson from Mrs. Mensah. There is a vaccine, an effective and safe vaccine, available in over 2 decades now, used in developed countries to manage cervical cancer and to prevent HPV infections, and therefore eliminate cervical cancer. This vaccine in developed countries have taken countries like Australia to the point where cervical cancer is a rare thing to talk about. That is why the WHO elimination targets gives us 3 main strategies. Let's call them VST: vaccinate, screen, and treat. And that is what I do always. That is what my team and I work on. That is what we do best and want to encourage you to join us. Unfortunately, this vaccine was not really being used in developing countries, including Ghana. But I bring another good news. Ghana has been approved to have an HPV vaccination campaign starting just a few months, and this will happen in the country. All the advocacy, all the talking has resulted in that. Now the question is over to you. My question to you: will you encourage your mother, your sister, yourself, your brother, his wife, to make sure that children between 9 and 14, which are the targets for this vaccine, receive it when they become freely available in this country in just about 2 months? Or would you be one of those who will allow a video circulated on social media for misinformation or actual disinformation stop you from taking this opportunity to make sure we have a future generation that has one less worry as far as cervical cancer is concerned? I'm not asking you for blind faith. Anybody who knows me knows I ask plenty of questions. In fact, as a child, if my mother said, Jifa, it's time to sleep, I probably asked her to provide evidence with diagrams that it is truly time to sleep and that sleep is necessary. That is me. So I'm asking you to do the same. Ask questions. Join us and ask questions. And this is why I introduce you to the International Papillomavirus Society, a global society on HPV and its related conditions. On the screen now, you have our contact. Do you have any question? Do you need evidence-based information to convince you so that you can join us together to make this campaign a success and work towards eliminating cervical cancer? Please send a message, send a text, send an email, and we will respond to you. In conclusion, we have said, hopefully in this period you remember, there is a virus that causes cervical cancer. It is a very sneaky virus and everyone could get it, really. And there are easy proven strategies to deal with this virus. So let's come together. Let's tackle this together and eliminate cervical cancer for one less worry. The men, real men protect their women. Real men protect their children. Real men protect services. So please, the men, work with us together. Let's protect the future generation. Let's all have one less worry. I want to wake up soon in a world where no one alive will say I am sick. But until that time, until that is possible, I still want to do all I can to have one less worry. And I believe you want that too. So let's come together. Let's work to eliminate cervical cancer for one less worry.